Episode 313 of Bucco Banter. We are finally hoisting it as the Pirates take one of three from the Mets and Queens. We will review that series and preview the upcoming series versus Cincinnati Reds. You're listening to the Bucco Banter podcast, brought to you by the Just Baseball Media Network. Cue the music.
Rockin' 101, she compliment my taste. Whiskey in my lemonade, cause I like the way it tastes. Best seats at the Pirates game, they let me run the base. Yeah, my time is like my money, cause I can't afford to waste. Wifey is a lawyer, take my date to my dates. Order steak by the plate, send in case after case. Run my race at my pace, clear the grass of the snakes.
Welcome back to another episode of Bucco Banter. And you know what, guys? I am just happy that we're not recording this going 0-3 to start the season. While the Mets are a really good team, we came away with one win, and I think that was necessary going into Cincinnati this week.
Absolutely. Today, I feel rejoiced. And if it was like a couple feet from that Jorge Polanco walk-off, thank God for Billy Cook. My God, dude. We cannot catch a break here. Cannot catch a break. But let's talk about the positives today. Carmen Mlodzinski looked really, really good. He was one of our 3 stars of the game. We're getting a lot of comments saying Henry Davis needs to be an honorable mention. Yohan Ramirez needs to be an honorable mention.
We
Absolutely.
only
Henry
have 3
Davis,
spots.
Yeah, we only got 3 spots. We felt like those were the most deserving. But Henry Davis, the defense has been elite. Absolutely elite. With a bullpen where, quite frankly, sometimes we don't know where the ball's going at some points, he has been keeping everything in front of him. Everything.
Yeah, Henry is nails, and I'll tell you what, man, timely hitting too. He had a smoke double a couple of days, game 1, and then today that timely hit. We needed that extra run. I knew in the extra innings, 1 run is great, but getting an extra one makes you feel a little bit more comfortable with that guy on second base to start the inning. Man, right center field single.
That's what I was going to say, right center
inside
field.
Out in the ball. Like that's huge, man. If we can get Henry to do that, hit 210, play that type of defense, this guy's our franchise catcher.
And then Yohan Ramirez, all series, like you just mentioned, nails. With a bullpen of uncertainty this year, at least to begin the year, he has been very, very good thrown into not great situations, especially in game 1. And he has come through. We've suffered a lot of walks coming out of the bullpen, a lot of free bases, and he has been very, very good. You need a guy like that, man. But back-to-back days, you got what you needed out of your starting pitching. Mitch Keller goes quality start. No walks. And then you get Carmen Mlodzinski, who had a really good outing today when there's a lot of concern of whether or not he can get through a lineup more than 3 times. He looked really good, Scott. I think outside of Skenes, the pitching looked really good on the starting side.
I think the splitter, man, is a difference maker for Carmen. He had 7 Ks for 3 innings. That's a career high for him. He garnered a few whiffs, like I think 8 to 10 whiffs total on the day, 4 1/3. I mean, I think also it just reiterates the point that he would be an elite back end of the bullpen guy. Everyone was saying, he's probably done after this 4th inning. And I was like, I was kind of all for putting him out there for one more batter to see how it went. But I think there's still concerns about him getting through the order multiple times. I do want to give him his flowers, though. I think, hats off to the guy. He performed, he stepped up, and I mean, he was nails to start this game, and he kept us in it.
And then how can we not talk about the new guys? Because if you're going to pinpoint one thing in this series that kept them in it, no matter what, even game 1 when it seemingly got out of hand, Brandon Lowe and Ryan O'Hearn are as advertised going into the first weekend of Major League Baseball. Brandon Lowe's got 3 home runs. Ryan O'Hearn has a home run and multiple base hits. I mean, these home runs from Brandon Lowe are absolute moonshots. And if you're watching on YouTube, Jay just pulled them up. Just absolutely crazy. And he starts with those hands so low, and he's able to just get that launch angle through the zone. It doesn't seem too complicated in the swing. And for a guy who self-admittedly swings and misses a lot, he's making absurd contact right now. I mean, these balls are absolutely crushed.
I feel like all 3 of his home runs, he's punishing mistakes in on the plate, in the inner half of the plate. Look at that today's home run right there. I mean, off of Nolan McLean. Taking some really good swings, man. really good swings, and you got to love to see that from your 2-hole guy.
And then Ryan O'Hearn, again, professional at bats in moments where you absolutely need a hit. He's coming through and just keeping his hands inside the ball, working all areas of the field. First home run was opposite field, absolutely crushed. He knew he had it. And then just making solid contact. Just really, really good to have those two guys at the top of the order in the middle of the lineup. It's going to be a matter of now of like the Brian Reynolds of the world can really get things going. I know he had a couple hits this series, but otherwise struggled. O'Neal Cruz, we need to get the back going. I know we'll talk about that a little bit. And the lineups weren't as predictable as you thought they may be. O'Neal Cruz.
Yeah, I want to get into that a little bit.
Was scheduled apparently. I don't know if I believe that, to be honest with you, that early in the year, unless we're talking there were some issues with the WBC and him getting the amount of games that he needs to play. If you're not ready by now, what are we doing? That's a whole nother thing. We need him to hit lefties. We talk about this all the time. You need O'Neal Cruz to be an everyday guy. I don't care if it's him leading off or him hitting 6th or 7th in the lineup. You need him in the lineup if you're actually going to believe in the player.
I mean, look at it. Look at today. Sean Manaea came in to face him. 104.7 mile an hour single rope to right field. I thought that was a really good at bat by O'Neal, and I thought he's had some good ABs put together in game 1 and game 3 here. But you need him to face those type of guys. Sean Manaea is probably the funkiest of arm slots you're going to see from the left side, and to keep him in there, I thought was good, and to see that result was even better. So that was we know that's an emphasis for him this offseason. Ryan O'Hearn, real quick, back to him. The hit collector, Matt Haig, working with maybe our new hit collector, Ryan O'Hearn, the run producer, I want to call him, because this guy, I feel like we haven't had a guy on this team that I've been confident in with players and runners, or with players on base, with runners in scoring position. When he comes up to the plate, I'm like, I feel positive. I feel good. I feel like something can happen here. And it's a good feeling to have as a Pirates fan. But back to O'Neal Cruz, man. Big ABs. He drew a big walk to start the game today. Got a hit off of Sean Manaea. That game 2 lineup was interesting. I want to get into that a little bit because it was almost like a getaway day lineup. I get subbing out Spencer Horwitz. The splits are pretty bad. Ryan O'Hearn's a guy that I think is going to play every single day, but the game 2 lineup was a little bit puzzling, especially after an off day.
Yeah, 100%. One, we'll start with O'Neal Cruz. Got to play him. You just have to. They had nothing going for them for most of the game in game 2, and you need a guy that can change the game with one swing of the bat. And I know you got a pinch hit opportunity later on. That's not the situation I want to put O'Neal in. You need to put O'Neal in where he's surrounded by good hitters, and you're setting him up for success, not to put the weight of the world on his shoulders late in the game to try and make something happen. I know he has that ability to do so, but if we're really, really going to believe in the player, we need him out there. And I like Jake Mangum playing on back-to-back days. He provided excellent defense. He had some really, really clutch hits for us, scored a couple of runs. But yeah, not what I envisioned. You talk about all the bats that you brought in, then you look at that lineup and you start to question yourself like, oh, was I going a little crazy this offseason? Did I get carried away a little bit? And I like Nick York on the team right now as a utility guy, but do I trust him out in right field yet? Not really.
Yeah.
So it's already a little bit of a question with the left side of the infield and Nick Gonzalez playing out of position. He had a little bit of a mishap today. That's a hard hit ball that knuckles at you that he wasn't able to grab. But game 2 lineup was a weird one. It didn't make me feel comfortable going into the second game of the year where you just put up 7 runs and you're looking for a bounce back, and that's the best you got. It just didn't seem right.
Let's bring in producer Jay real quick to comment on the offense.
The thing I found pretty weird about the game 2 lineup, especially, was Brandon Lowe being so far down the lineup. I pulled up the splits here. He slashed 194, 231, 317 against left-handers last season. But at the same time, like, that's one of your better hitters, especially like you're one of your bigger offensive acquisitions. So to like not give him opportunities, in my opinion, to drive in runs at the top of the order was kind of a missed opportunity there.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that.
I agree with that too. And let's go to game 2 real quick. Let's kind of gloss through the whole recap. Mitch Keller pitched really, really well. 6 innings, 3 hits, no earned, no walks, 3 Ks, only 5 whiffs. But this is a typical Mitch Keller outing, a quality start. All right, look at this. I mean, swing and a miss there by Bo Bichette, who struck out 8 or 9 times this series, by the way. Carson Benj got him on a strikeout there. And Francisco Alvarez as well. Those are his 3 Ks. He looked really good, man. Looked really good. This is going to be our horse this year. Justin Lawrence, Gregory Soto looked solid. Dennis Santana as well. Hunter Barco, I want to talk about that real quick if we're sticking on arms. I didn't love the situation that they brought him into at the end of the game there. I thought that was an interesting situation to bring in the rookie young arm that is probably going to be in your rotation at some point. But, like, talk about with the lineup that you put out there, a lot of scattered hits. That's my biggest takeaway from that game because you left a ton of guys on base this game, and we'll get into those numbers. I don't think David Peterson lit the world on fire, but we also just had a ton of scattered hits, left guys on base. I didn't love putting Hunter Barco in this. He battled out of that first inning, but I just thought it was a bad situation for him to be in. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, the bullpen usage this series was
interesting.
And I think a large part of that is game 1 having a huge impact on what happened. Because I could have foreseen Barco in today's game. All things considered, we talked about it on the morning show at Allegheny Coffee and Tea, how we see him piggybacking Carmen a little bit. But you need him in more of a middle inning role. You really do. For a guy like that who you envision to be a starter, who's a young lefty arm, I don't like him in that situation. Things can get away from you very quickly. And they did. And I didn't agree with that. I didn't agree sending him back out there. I think this series, I'm willing to scrap it a little bit in terms of the bullpen usage, just because of how it started. And you're putting Don Kelly in a difficult situation where you got Urquidy closing out a game in extra innings.
Yeah.
I'm willing to give it a little bit more of a break and see how it goes into the second week of the season, because this was a weird one, to say the least.
I mean, you went into extra innings 2 of the 3 games, right?
Right.
And this was a weird series. You used a lot of your pitchers game 1. I think I'm willing to scrap it regardless of all that. This is Don Kelly's very first series of the season. I saw someone put out there, and I forget who tweeted it, said that he's managing just like Derek Shelton. I'm not going to jump on Don Kelly for his bullpen usage just yet. I'm not going to say that it's poor or graded one way or another. I think he made some interesting decisions. I just want to see how it plays out for a couple weeks. I'm not going to judge it. Let's get him in here.
So I'll tell you guys what, Carmen looked great today, but yesterday whenever Hunter Barco was out there, all I kept thinking was, man, I'd love to have Carmen in this spot right now. Like, that was the one thing that was in my mind the entire time, was just, man, if we had that high leverage guy who I felt confident with runners on base that had worked in situations like that before, I would have just felt like astronomically better about that specific situation. And then again, today with Urquidy, Scott and I talked a little bit before we started recording about Mason Montgomery being in a spot like that. I think we can eventually get there. It's inconsistent now, but I would feel a lot more comfortable with having those high velo, high stuff guys that just max out for an inning or two, as opposed to your Keedys or your Hunter Barcos, who should be like your middle inning, 5-6 inning guys.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you couldn't have said it any better. That's going to be interesting moving forward. Obviously, you want to get more innings out of your starters. And I think Paul Skenes going more than 2/3 of an inning is going to help that situation. But positive takeaways. I liked what I saw from the new guys. Mason Montgomery finished the series really, really well. I mean, it's going to be a roller coaster, as we mentioned, with him. But when he is on, my God, that sword that he had on Juan Soto, just electric stuff. And Mitch Keller, really good. And hopefully you get that Mitch Keller all year that just can be your workhorse. Versus Lindor this year after yesterday. Lindor's hitting 105, 320, 105 with 8 Ks. Just crazy. Really, really good stuff. Yeah, has his number. Scott, do you want to roll through these real quick? I know we touched on the games already, but just I'm going to go through Thursday's team stats. They had 10 Ks on Thursday, no walks, which I think killed them in that high-scoring game. 10 hits, 1 for 7 runners in scoring position, 3 left on base. They had 1 recorded error and 1 pass ball. Then, of course, you had the 2 mishaps from O'Neal Cruz that really hurt them. And then the story of the series was 3 passes from the bullpen with 2 outs or leading off the inning. just really putting yourself in a tough situation defensively in situations where you should be getting out of. So I'll roll through this real quick, Scott. Saturday, they lost 4-2 in extras as a team, 9 Ks, 4 walks, 12 hits, 2 for 18 with runners in scoring position. And then you ready for this? 17 guys left on base.
Those are historic numbers
On Saturdays. This is the past couple of years, Pirates. I'm not saying it is the past couple of years, Pirates, but those are bad numbers. And that's why that game did not go according to plan, because you were not able to execute when you had guys in scoring position. And then today they were 3 for 14 with runners in scoring position, 12 left on base. And then you had the rare error from Jared Triolo that would have rolled a double play early on in the game. So there's a lot of things, a lot of little things winning in the margins, as they used to like to call it.
I'm willing to chalk it up to early season kinks at this point. I mean, Dan Zingerle put out the other day, through first 2 games, 8 1/3 innings pitched by your bullpen, 10 walks. Not a recipe for success. You got to be better than that out of the bullpen. But first series, let's see how it goes in Cincinnati, Adam. I mean, I thought today was a much better result. And one guy I want to highlight real quick is Yohan Ramirez. Yohan Ramirez is a guy that I'd feel really comfortable with in those extra innings. You know, replace him with, or put him in that Hunter Barco situation. I know he pitched Thursday, so maybe wasn't available in that position, but I think I would have felt really comfortable with him there. I think he's been giving us really solid innings in his first 2 appearances of the season, and I owe him an apology because he's a guy I thought that shouldn't make this team early on. I said it a lot during the offseason, but he's been Mr. Consistent, if nothing else, to start the season.
Real quick, Jay, you have the history on 17 guys left on base. What do you got for us?
The last time the Pirates left 17 guys on base was 2018.
Wow.
8/24/2018 was the last day they left 17 or more on base, and it was 19 that day.
Hey, look at the glass half full. They got 17 guys on base, but we got to find a way to move them over. And real quick, shout out to Jake Mangum. I know he had a rough day today at the plate, but talk about a team guy who's just going to run everything out hard, had a really nice sacrifice bunt, able to lay it down right away. You need guys like that in your lineup. I'm not that much of a small ball guy, but having somebody in there that can come through like that in clutch situations really, really helps. Before we move on, we're back with Total Sports Enterprises, Scott. All the memorabilia that we give away at the games, the signed baseball, and this year, many, many, many more online giveaways, high quality online giveaways and ones at the park are all going to be brought to you by Total Sports Enterprises. You can go to tseshop.com for all your Pirates, Penguins, Steelers memorabilia. They have a ton of great deals there. You can get the mystery box, maybe get yourself a Paul Skenes autographed jersey to hang up in your office. I know I want one. I'm going to be hitting up tseshop.com for all my Pirates memorabilia. Scott, the boys head to Cincinnati tomorrow. What do you got on Chase Burns?
All right, well, first game, Chase Burns, last year 0-3, 4.57 ERA and 13 appearances as a rookie. This was the number 2 overall pick, I believe, out of Wake Forest. He started at Tennessee, 67 Ks, 1.32 whip. Against the Pirates last year, 8 innings, 2 appearances. He had 1 start against us, had 10 Ks. He's mostly four-seam slider. All right, this is a guy that is a power pitcher with elite velocity, a wipeout slider in the front of the rotation upside. More command consistency, or the command consistency can waver a bit because he's more of a 2-pitch guy at this point, but this is a guy that has ace potential. So this is who we'll face in game 1 against Braxton Ashcraft, who I'm really high on this year as a sleeper, and not just for the Pirates, but for the whole league.
It's funny because this series, we're going to see a part of this rotation that we did not get to see in the Mets series that you have hyped all offseason long. The Pirates fans have hyped all offseason long, who I've been really looking forward to watching. And by the way, these pitching breakdowns are all going to be in our newsletter. If you're looking for the percentages on the arsenal history of the pitcher, you could find that. All you have to do is go to buccobantr.com, enter your email, hit send, go to your email, opt in, and you'll get all the breakdowns. Let's go to Tuesday. Bubba Chandler versus Brandon Williamson, the lefty. His career 5-5, 4.39 ERA and 27 appearances, 131.1 innings pitched, 110 Ks, 1.26 whip. The arsenal, you're getting a cutter, four-seam change, and curve. Tall, long-levered lefty with a deep arsenal and deception. Got a cutter, late cut, misses barrels while the four seam plays up due to his extension. So you're going to get Brandon Williamson on Tuesday.
The TCU product who hasn't pitched much since 2024. So he made the Reds rotation. Wednesday, Paul Skenes. I'll tell you what, I'd hate to be the Reds this Wednesday, but Andrew Abbott is on the hill. And talk about a guy that was Mr. Consistency last year for the Reds. 10-7 with a 2.87 ERA and 29 appearances, 149 Ks on 115 WHIP. He was 2-0 with a 3 ERA in his career versus the Pirates. He throws a four-seam change, curve, sweeper, cutter. The four-seam has tons of ride, plays up due to deception, not overpowering, but misses bats up in the zone. The curve is the primary swing and miss pitch. He disrupts timing effectively with that curve. He's more pitchability over pure stuff. This guy is a big question mark. Like, how is he getting it done? 2.87 ERA last year, but he's kind of like their Mitch Keller from the left side, if you will. He's one of the more solid, consistent pitchers in the league, and that's who we'll face Wednesday. Two lefties against the Reds. I'm interested to see how Donnie Kelly puts together those lineups on Tuesday and Wednesday, but this is a big series for us, boys.
Got to bounce back. Especially we talk about the Reds and the Pirates and really scraping the barrel of the NL Central back in the past. You need to make a statement with this series going into opening weekend at PNC Park. Sweep. Like, I know that's, I'm really shooting for the stars here, but you got to sweep. You got Braxton Ashcraft, you got Bubba Chandler, then you got Paul Skenes. These are the games that you absolutely have to win. Make up for those two games in New York that you absolutely could have won if things go a couple of ways. That's why I'm not sweating it. Obviously, you shouldn't be sweating it if it's just after 3 games. But if a team's going to be serious, if we're going to watch meaningful baseball late in the year, these are the games that you have to win in order to put yourself in that position where you could sacrifice a couple down the stretch and not be worried about being in a close race with a team like the Cincinnati Reds. This is something that I'm looking forward to watching, but I don't want to be on the edge of my seat like I was this week.
Hey, and that was against a team that's probably going to win the NL East.
Right.
We need to dominate the Reds this week. I'm just going to say it. I know it's early in the season, but this is a team that we need to put our foot down on and not be on the edge of our seat against. I'm excited to watch the series. Also a little bit nervous.
The Discord was popping during the series, and you could see in the bottom left, if you're watching us on YouTube, you could scan that and it brings you right to our Discord. Join it. We got so many cool channels in that Discord. Obviously, the game chat, the banter chat, fantasy baseball cards. People have been sending the awesome baseball cards, Pirates cards that they've been pulling as of late. And then also we have an At the Park channel. So if you're at any ballpark, you want to meet up, hit us up in there. And then the Ballpark Pass giveaway channel. A ton of us have the Ballpark Pass. And sometimes you can't go to the game. Why not send it to a fellow Pirates fan and build a community in the banter Discord? So scan that right below. Scott, real quick, not an ad read, kind of an ad read. We got ourselves a waffle, buddy.
You told me this yesterday. I was like, let's go. I sent it to a million people. Pretty sick. It's probably going to be the best waffle you've ever had. Best waffle in Pittsburgh, that's for sure. So go to Oakland, right? Tell them, Adam, tell them where they can find this waffle.
You can find the Bucco Bantr waffle at Smashed Waffles in Oakland. Right in the heart of Oakland, you go in there, you say, hey, Bucco Bantr home run of the week, 20% off the Bucco Bantr waffle. As a matter of fact, it's 20% off your whole order no matter what waffle you get. But why wouldn't you get the Bucco Bantr waffle? Chocolate waffle with some yellow sprinkles on it. Just the perfect amount of cooked, little crunch. Ooh, I got to go over to Smashed Waffles in Oakland to get myself the Bucco Bantr waffle. We might have a couple of other things coming here, Scott, that I have to talk to you about after the show. But my God, it feels good to have a waffle.
Yeah, I love waffles. Who doesn't love waffles? Come on, go get a Bucco Bantr waffle. First say hail to Pitt, and then bring up the Bucco Bantr Smashed Waffles Homer of the Week and get 20% off your order.
I can't wait. Any overreactions, predictions after one weekend of baseball? I know we waited all offseason for this. Didn't go as expected, but a lot of promise for the new guys that came into Pittsburgh. Anything that you're worried about, that you're hyped about?
Overreaction, Ryan O'Hearn batting title.
You heard it here first. Professional at bats, man.
I'll tell you what, man. I love the at-bats that I'm seeing. I just feel I have a different feeling when watching this offense, okay? I really do. I think Brian Reynolds is going to pick it up here, and I like what I've seen from most of this lineup. I like what I'm seeing from Henry Davis. I'm optimistic. Sue me.
Producer Jay says Brandon Lowe breaks a single-season home run record.
He's on pace for 162, right?
I mean, he's on pace for much more than that, buddy. If he keeps going the way that he's going.
In all seriousness, there's a very good chance he could break a record this year. Neil Walker currently has the second base home run title at 23, which I think is very, very, very passive. Yeah, very passable by Brandon Lowe.
I think
100%. I think he's gonna crush that. Hopefully, he crushes that. I'd say for myself, let's go Henry Davis. Start putting it together. That opposite field, and it's barely opposite field. It's slightly to the right side of second base, but that had me feeling some type of way. Yeah, that had me feeling real nicey, as John Gruden likes to put it. So let's say Henry Davis. Oh yeah, I'm feeling nicey after seeing that. Just late in the game too, man. The kid grinds. You got to give him some type of credit here. He has been amazing behind the plate, and I think Gold Glove worthy behind the plate for Henry Davis right now. He threw a runner out today too. The arm is something. And man, if he could hit 220 and provide at bats like that, especially late in games when you're getting to the nitty gritty deep in the lineup, that really makes me feel really, really good about the situation that they're going to put themselves in. And then a lot's going to change here in the next couple of weeks. If you have a certain name who could be coming up to join the team, I think things look a lot different, but we're not going to talk about that right now.
Kervin Pichardo.
Yeah, Kervin Pichardo is signing a 15-year.
He's with the Nats now, but go ahead.
Yeah, the Pirates are bringing him back for 15 years, $8 million. So good for Kervin Pichardo there. Jay's mentioned Eddie Ian. Oh, my God. Well, hey, I'm glad baseball is back. If you don't already, make sure you subscribe, leave a comment, tell a friend to tell a friend. Let us know what you want us to talk about. We got the live show mid this week. I think we're going Thursday night before opening day at PNC Park with our man, Jim Stam. So you could ask your questions below. You can go to buccobantr.com, contact us, hit your question in there. Go to the Discord. There's a mailbag question in the Discord. So again, scan that code right below. Go to the Discord. Throw all of your questions in there. And of course, you could DM us. We'll put out a link. Hit us up on X, wherever you could find us on all social media. If you're listening, we love you. Leave a 5-star review. That helps us out a ton. We appreciate everybody coming along for the ride this year. And for the first time this year, raise it.
Raise it.
Best seats at the Pirates game, they let me run the base. Yeah, my time is like my money, cause I can't afford to waste. Wifey is a lawyer, take my date to my dates, or the steak by the plates. And